You are welcome to the Messiah Revelation channel, prophetic channel dedicated to the end times. This is a message of warning, a message of caution. In the last days, many people will masquerade as prophets. They will appear as men of God, but take heed that they are there to deceive you and they will let you lose your salvation. Someone made a comment that she was in a church, but she doesn't trust the church and she wants to get out of the church. She's not going to church. She didn't give me the reason, but here today I'm using this video to expose some of the false churches so that you will be aware. I'm doing that because I have a mandate under 1 John chapter 4 verse 1. 1 John chapter 4 verse 1. Beloved, believe not every spirit, but try the spirits whether they are of God, because many false prophets are gone out in the world. We are advised, we are warned to test all spirits because many false prophets have gone in the world. If you are watching this video, I hope you will test the spirit. If you have been with the channel, you should test the spirit to know the spirit behind this channel. And so don't exclude anybody. You have to test all spirits. And today I'm going to give you a tour of my experience. I'm using three people to draw your attention to the deception going on in the church and also to the occultism going on in the church and also to the darkness in the house of the Lord, so that you will be aware. My first encounter was with somebody by name Apostle Samuel Ansa. Last name is spelled Ansah, a Ghanaian national who has a church in United States. He's a Ghanaian national, also holding a Canadian citizenship and living in America. And if you go to a church, you can be deceived. There are so many things that can deceive you. The name of his church is called Power of the Cross of Christ. The title of the church, the name, will even deceive you. Power of the Cross Ministry. And some people also can deceive you with embellishing their spiritual power, exaggerating the level of their anointing. And in the case of Apostle Asa, he said he has had several visitations to heaven, and he knows the angel who controls hell. So he will tantalize you, will bombard you with all these fake encounters. And he is also able to predict events. That one is true. He will predict an event that will come to you. And when the event comes true, when the prophecy comes true, then he wins your trust. And so he will predict something that will come true. Unfortunately, it could be a disaster. It could be a death that will come true. It could be you losing your job that will come true, or having an accident, it will come true. And he uses demonic powers to do that. So when it comes true, then you know he's a rare man of God, and you will trust him, and then he will take you to the occult world. He can even sacrifice your soul to the devil. And when you are in such a church, how do you know? Oh, you have to pray. It is sometimes only by the grace of God. In this case, it was another man of God who exposed this apostle. And so I left his congregation. I'm talking about something that happened in the United States. It happened around the year 2006. And when I left the congregation, the Lord also continued to expose more about the man. And I did a Google search on him, Power of the Cross Ministry. He had a conference, and the conference was about Matthew 24, verse 4. And Matthew 24, verse 4 is about um, false prophets. The Lord warned about false prophets in Matthew 24, verse 4. And so this guy, Apostle Ansa, who is a false prophet himself, is holding conferences on false prophets. And so that is one of the modus operandi of the false prophets who are defaming the name of God, who are taking so many people to hell. And when he found out that I know him spiritually, he tried to intimidate me, and the Lord exposed the intimidation and through visions that I had about him, intimidating me because I've known his spiritual identity as a false prophet and somebody who is engaged in occultism in United States and also in Canada. Second experience, and the second experience involves a church, and a church can deceive you by the title of the leader of the church. And in this case, I'm talking about somebody who calls himself an archbishop. And this archbishop is a Ghanaian. He's located in Ghana, and he has churches that are also spread in Europe, in America, and also in other parts of the world. And so, how do they deceive you? They can deceive you by the title. I don't know how many archbishops we have in the Bible. I don't think there's any archbishop in the Bible, but there are so many people calling themselves archbishop, and they are using titles and apostolic mantles to deceive so many people. And in this particular case, um, you can also be deceived by the level of political connection that the leader of the church has. When you see a church leader invited to presidential inaugurations, even in America, and when you see presidents contacting him, when you see presidential candidates going to his church, and when you see celebrity pastors coming to his church, including celebrity pastors from United States and other parts of the world, you will be deceived because you will know or you will falsely think that this man is a rare man of God. And some people can also deceive you by the level of their knowledge in the word of the Lord. They will preach from inside out of the Bible, from Genesis to Revelation, and they will do a lot of quotations, and they will explain so many doctrines, and they will mesmerize you with their prayers. And this archbishop is such a person, and everybody who knows him knows that he is an, a powerful prayer. He knows the word, and he has all the charisma. You wouldn't know that he um, is an angel of light, or somebody masquerading as an angel of light, but he has connections with the dark kingdom. So I'm talking about this archbishop. I did a test. The test was First John chapter 4 test, testing the spirit behind this man. And in one of the tests, I had a vision, and I met him and I asked him a simple question. The powers that you have, is this from God or is from Satan? And then he said, don't even go there. Don't even go there. So that is one example of the test that I conducted and the vision that I had. But I know of a particular vision that I had in February of 2007. It happened in United States. And in this vision, I woke up in the morning. It was not a vision, it is an ordinary event. Waking up in the morning, going to spark my car, and then you see the clouds, you see the Archbishop's image in the cloud with an umbrella over him, and he was moving in the skies, and I was very scared. I almost ran away, and his image vanished. And so I prayed about it, and I wanted to interpret the vision. In daylight time, you are not sleeping, you are just waking up, you have dressed, you are going to work, you are going to uh, 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 take your car, and then when you look in the sky, you see the image of a pastor in the sky. And the Lord was showing me that, as Paul said in Ephesians chapter 6, verse 12, we do not wrestle with flesh and blood. We wrestle with principalities and powers. We wrestle against spiritual wickedness in dark places. So, in the case of this Archbishop, I found out about him through a sign from heaven. And that sign was the sign I saw in February 2007. The sign was a sign from heaven because I saw his image hovering in the sky around about 8 o'clock in the morning in the United States. And and he was trying to intimidate me by showing himself as a powerful person. And I prayed about it. And later on, I did a lot of fast. I prayed about it, and I got the discernment that he is part of a group, and everybody is aware that he's part of a group. And you can identify them by the occult ranks that they have, the Masonic ranks given to them by the Freemason. You can also identify them by the sword that they hold. And for this Archbishop who is in Ghana, a lot of people, if they are Ghanaians, they are aware that he uses the ring. They are aware that he also has a sword, and it's a Masonic sword given to him by the Masons. And this bishop actually is leading so many people to hell. A lot of people are not aware because they are blind. They are blinded by Lucifer, because Lucifer is the Lord of this world, the king of this world, the prince of the principalities, and he has blinded so many people so that their eyes will not open to see the falsehood. And this is an experience, a personal experience. I've been to his church before. He's a good prayer, prays very well. He knows the Bible very well. But by revelation, I saw that he is in a group, and that group is the group belonging to Lucifer himself. And you cannot judge a book by its color. You cannot judge a church by the building that they have, the air condition that they have. You cannot judge a church by the celebrities who go to preach in the church, including bishops from the United States, including people who have connections with presidents, including American president. You cannot judge a leader of a church by the prayers that they say and the quotations that they give you in the Bible. You need spiritual discernment, because the devil himself, he masquerades as an angel of light. He knows his time is short, and there are so many people he has to deceive because his assignment is to steal, to kill, and to destroy. And that is John 10, verse 10. And so this is a case of somebody who is an archbishop and his members worship him as an idol, and he has political influence. Politicians in Ghana go to his office. Politicians in other African countries go to his office. He's invited to presidential inaugurations outside Africa, including United States. And lo and behold, the sign from heaven came somewhere in February 2007. I saw his image hovering in the sky, daylight. This is not the dream. It's an open vision that I saw in the morning, 8 o'clock in the morning, in February of 2007. And my last example or a case is also a Ghanaian case. And here, the person has a church, and the church has Jesus Christ in the name. The church is registered, and the name Jesus Christ appears in the official name of the church. But what happens in that church is abomination. And the leader of the church, they call him a prophet. He is a prophet, quote unquote, and he is able to see things. He is able to prophesy. He's a good prayer, and he preaches very well. He's very humble, and he dresses very in a very humble manner. He doesn't even have a car. He doesn't have a house on his own. And so he's not opulent like other people. He's not opulent like the Archbishop I'm talking about. But I had to do a test about him. First John chapter 4 test. And First John chapter 4 test is, beloved, believe not every spirit, but try the test whether they are of God, because many false prophets are gone out into the world. I prayed about him, and I got so many things about him. And first of all, in one of the visions I saw about this prophet whose church has the name Jesus Christ attached to it. I was driving with him, and he lost the way. And so he was giving us direction that is wrong. So that is an indication that you are lost if you are in that church. He divorced his wife, and when he divorced his wife, I had a vision, and I had a vision of a water closet that is very, very, very unclean. And I saw toilet paper stretching for about 20 feet away, and the toilet paper was going inside the water closet. It means that the water closet was so dirty that in a supernatural way, a toilet paper 20 feet long had to go inside to clean it. And the Lord was telling me that the church is full of filth. I prayed about it until May 2025, when I did a final prayers, and the Lord showed me within 48 hours. And how did the Lord show me within 48 hours? The pastor divorced his wife, and not long after divorcing his wife, he proposed to marry a singer in the church. And information shows that he was even going with this singer in the church while he was still married to the woman that he recently divorced. And then he and the singer planned to get married, and they had to go into a covenant, the covenant of blood covenant. And what is a blood covenant? I use a razor to cut your body, and when there's blood, you lick it. So you cut the woman's body, the blood comes to lick it, and the woman also cuts the man's body, the blood comes, and then she licks it. And this is what they did. And this is somebody who is a prophet of the church, and the name of the church has Jesus Christ attached to it. And the church members, some of them are aware, but many people are not aware. But I tested the spirit behind the church, and this is what the Lord showed me, that the church is like a toilet factory. I had a vision where I saw people who were working in a factory, and the commodity that they were producing was toilet. And they didn't have any gloves on. They were using their bare hands to collect toilet. And so the church is a toilet. And so you have to have the spirit of discernment so that you will not go to a church, whether the church is headed by an apostle, whether it is headed by an archbishop, or whether it is headed by a prophet. So in these three scenarios, you can see how somebody can deceive you by using the title apostle, how somebody can also deceive you by using the title archbishop, and how somebody can deceive you by using the title a prophet. You should know people by their fruits, but in most cases you will not know anything unless you have the grace of God and you are given the discernment to know that the church that you are in is not a church, it's a toilet factory. It is a demonic factory. It is a hell factory. And the 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 the, um, the warning to you is to be very careful. And if I were you, I would leave the church. I will leave the church and find a church that is God fearing, and that preaches holiness, that prepares you for the end time, that prepares you for your own salvation, prepares you for judgment, because their churches are prosperity oriented churches, and they are headed by people who are in the occult, and their master is Lucifer, who is directing them to get so many souls to populate the lake of fire. And so this is the message to you. The message for you today is to have the spirit of discernment, pray about it, and test every spirit to find out whether the spirit is of God or is of Lucifer. And I encourage you even to test the spirit behind this channel, and so that you will not be deceived. And you have to know that Lucifer will deceive so many people, and he will deceive them with members believing in somebody who knows the Bible very well, somebody who is able to pray very well, somebody who is able to preach the gospel very well, but at the same time, that person is in the occult and is doing the bidding of Lucifer, deceiving so many people, masquerading as angel of light, even though they are doing the bidding for their father who is at in hell. Thank you for watching this video. My email is raptureafrica@yahoo.com. I'm leaving it in the description box. Thank you very much.